Hey, everybody, we are live after watching football for 5 hours. I think we watched 5 hours of football. Nothing wrong with that, but it was a lot of fun. And the result, well, first of all, as you can see by the photograph I have here, the Ravens won and the Niners won. The result, that's first of all, as you can see by the photograph I have here, and that's of course on the left, Mr. Lamar Jackson, and on the right, Mr. Brock Purdy. And we're going to talk about the game. My mom watched it with me. She's going to provide commentary about the outcome. And we're going to start, first of all, with, well, the blowout game. And you'd say, what game was that? Well, that was the first game where the Texans visited the Ravens, and that was the first half. It was literally a tale of two games, like a kind of Dickens with Tale of Two Cities. The Ravens won 34-10, but if you had watched the entire game and looked at the first half, you would have thought the Ravens were in trouble, right, Mom?
Yeah, you would at least thought they were about even. Well, at least that's what I thought. Because at that time, um, the Ravens was playing like they normally play. The other team was fairly keeping up. Um, but that second,
talking about the Texans, yeah,
yeah,
this, yeah, this,
but and so I think that's pretty much how I looked at it. So, but the second quarter was a totally another story.
yeah, hats off to the Texans because they had a fantastic offensive game plan going in. A good mixture of. I'm not really a fan. No, let me take the really out of my sentence. I don't like the way the Texans running game is designed because it's a technical structural issue I don't want to go into. They do a lot of things wrong. Uh, I'm very old school about it. I come from the idea that if you're going to run, you run to the side where you have the most blockers.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas they don't do that, and so they take a lot of chances. The Texans do, and a lot of their runs get stopped behind the line of scrimmage when they do that. When they don't do it, like anybody else, you expect them to pick up yards, and they do. But they take chances. I think are just absolutely ridiculous, and I think really played a great role in why they lost the game. But it was a fantastic season for them. It really was. But the one thing that nobody has Lamar Jackson, right?
No, no. C.J. Stroud though is a very good quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
They actually he just needs a little more time, and he needs some better defense, or as you say, he probably needs a better plan.
Mm-hmm.
Coordinator. I'm not too sharp on all of those kinds of things like you are, but
it's okay.
But yeah, I put a lot of faith in the Texans for next year.
I'm looking at the statistical outcome from ESPN, and they report C.J. Stroud was 29 of 33 passes for 175 yards. So he's way under his usual performance.
Mm-hmm.
Usually he's in the 250 to 350 yard range.
Mm-hmm.
No touchdowns, surprisingly. No interceptions, though. And then Lamar he was 16 to 22 for 152, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. But the difference is that he was also the leading rusher on either team. He had 11 carries for 100 yards.
Mm-hmm.
So Lamar Jackson put up 252 yards total offense.
Well, yeah, Lamar Jackson is a talented football player coming along once in 100 years, if you ask me. So, expecting great things from him.
Yeah, and he had, let's see here, he was sacked 3 times, whereas they did not touch C.J. Stroud. Now, where the Texans really got beaten was in the running game. The Ravens, as a team, racked up 229 yards on the ground alone. Yeah.
They're just a very good constructed football team.
Yeah, it got to a point where it was brutal the second half, and then they also on defense they started blitzing a lot. But so even though C.J. Stroud didn't get sacked, he got rushed a lot. He got rushed quite a bit, and
that's why there's some.
Yeah.
That's where I can see some really dumb plays at points.
Yeah. Receiving for the Texans, Nico Collins 5 for 68. Longest was 29 yards. For the Ravens, Zay Flowers 4 for 41 yards. And Odell Beckham Jr., he may have had one catch for 12 yards, but he won in the jewelry scene. He gave some sort of clock necklace to Lamar as Lisa Salter from ESPN was trying. Remember that?
Yeah. You said he was going to be the most valuable player.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he put that award on him. How far do you think the Ravens can go, Mom?
Oh, I think they'll go all the way. They may even win the Super Bowl, because they're one of the best teams in the country, and they're actually predicted to go all the way.
Do you think they can beat the Bills then? Or are the Bills?
Yeah, I really do think they can beat the Bills.
Yeah. So two teams of destiny. Okay, we've counted out the Chiefs, right? That's not fair to the Chiefs. The Chiefs.
No, I'm not counting out.
Mom's not counting out the Chiefs. Excuse me. Mom is
a miracle worker.
Mom is not counting out the Chiefs. She's making that known. She said it. You heard her say it here. Mahomes is a miracle worker, right here.
Yeah.
And hey, Google, what's the weather in Buffalo?
Right now in Buffalo, it's 18 degrees with snow showers.
Ooh.
Sunday, it'll be partly cloudy with a high of 27 and a low of 18. Due to current wind conditions, it feels like it's 6.
Did you hear what the Google said?
What?
Hey, Google, what's the weather in Buffalo again?
18 degrees.
Currently in Buffalo, New York, it's 18 degrees with snow showers. Sunday, it'll be partly cloudy with a high of 27 and a low of 18. Due to current wind conditions, it feels like it's 6.
Ooh, 6 degrees and snow, folks.
But 6 degrees does not.
I don't know, but I found these results on search.
Google does that sometimes. What were you saying, Mom?
I said 6 degrees does not bother Mahomes.
No, I don't know. I think the snow is the great equalizer for both teams, because it makes it. Now someone say, well, Josh Allen can run and all that, but Mahomes can run too.
Mahomes is a miracle worker.
Yes, there she is.
I would not push him out of any football game. That guy is really good.
Now, do you think we're going to see another Niners-Chiefs Super Bowl? In other words, the Chiefs would have to beat.
That's the case. I think the Chiefs will win. The Niners were really off tonight.
Yeah, they were off. Yeah, I thought that was the. Yeah, I agree with you.
2 weeks of work and they played. They did not get ready for the playoffs.
Mom is absolutely right. In fact, let's take a look at that, folks.
With the Niners, because that's normally my favorite team.
Yeah, the Niners did not acquit themselves well. They won barely 24-21. They escaped what should have been a furious comeback by the Packers for a field goal try, except Jordan Love suddenly discovered that he was a young quarterback again and made, the pass he shouldn't have made, as opposed to all the great passes that he has made. But having said that, what did you think of Jordan Love overall?
I thought he was great. I really think that the coach should be more support for him, because I think that at the very end they rushed him, and I don't think the coach got him ready for that. But he's going to be a great quarterback. He is a good quarterback now, but he's going to be great. And the 49ers, they played doing their 2 weeks off.
Mm-hmm.
They were not ready. Debo gets hurt too much. He does not get his body in shape, and the coach looks like a mild pumpkin. So, he really needs to talk to him. You need to get body ready. No football player get hurt that much. He's in for like 2 or 3 plays, and he has to go. He got hurt again.
Mm-hmm.
He's been off for 2 weeks?
Yeah.
He could have been doing all kinds of stuff to keep his body from getting hurt.
Yeah. And it was a game that you have to say, if the Packers had hit that field goal, we would have been looking at a tie game going into, okay, let's say that everything else went as it went, but the Packers had hit that field goal. That would have put them ahead, and the 49ers would have tied them.
Yeah, the
And so-
49ers won by the skin of their teeth, is the old saying.
Yeah.
I mean, they just were not ready. I mean, hopefully.
Do you think they took the Packers too lightly?
Huh?
Do you think they took the Packers too lightly? But they didn't. They thought this was going to be a cakewalk and all that.
No, the Packers played their hearts out.
No, I understand that, but I'm saying, do you think that the 49ers maybe didn't thought that beating them was going to be an easy thing?
Well, if they are, they're stupid. All the information that we've had about Jordan
Love, yeah.
Jordan Love.
Mm-hmm.
And the Packers have never been like a cakewalk.
True.
Going back from way back, the history of the Packers. You just don't do Green Bay Packers and think they're a cakewalk. I mean, they did have a little bit of a hiccup when the quarterback left. But now that they got a new quarterback, you can watch out.
Talking about Aaron Rodgers, yeah. Yeah.
And to me, the 49ers didn't, they got a very good quarterback, but they really need to have a very better defense, and they need to get one more Deebo Samuels that's healthy.
Yeah.
Because to be competing, I think they were just lucky tonight. They were, every now and then, like they say, every Sunday, a football game can be won by somebody you do not expect. So that's something you can't. When you look at a football game, you can't just predict what's going to happen because of the history of a lot of the players. So sometimes they just get lucky.
Yeah.
And tonight, San Francisco got lucky with the guy missing the field goal, and a number of other things, and with the quarterback accidentally throwing that ball across the field.
Yeah, I don't know what. I don't think it was an accident. I think that was just desperation. But Brock Purdy was 23-39 for 252 yards, 6.5 yard average, 1 touchdown, quarterback rating of just 61.8, and versus Jordan Love, and Jordan Love came out where he was. Excuse me, as I scroll down and manipulate this thing. Jordan Love was worse. He was 21-34, 2 touchdowns, but he threw 2 interceptions. So he was 194 yards, 5.7 yard average. So his QBR was just 44.5. But those 2 interceptions were the difference maker. Yeah. But you think about it. They threw 2 interceptions and almost won. Well, actually, the last interception was that one on the final one, right? But aside from that, the Packers had 136 yards rushing, 194 yards passing, and versus the 49ers with 245 yards in the air and 111 yards on the ground. So the edge offensively was to the Niners through the air. But again, it was a contest where the Packers made the most timely plays most often, and the 49ers were just really hanging on to stay in the game.
Right, and I don't understand why the 49ers didn't use Ayuk.
Yeah,
they the second. He's one of the better catchers they got. I don't know what's wrong with them. Sometimes it looks like they have a lapse of memory of who their good players are. And you sit here and you watch it, and I kept saying, "Where is Ayuk?" Because that guy can catch a ball.
Well, the one thing is that the Packers, as a team, I talked about their running game. The Niners had 111 yards on the ground. The Packers had 194. So that's why they were a little bit,
They chose the wrong people to throw the ball to.
Yeah, and to run. Well, yeah. The Niners did right.
With my limited calculations, I can figure that out. I mean, Ayuk is one of the guys that you can throw that long ball and he will catch it.
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't use him until the second quarter, I think it was.
It might have been the weather, though.
What was the weather bother Ayuk?
It was all that rain.
Well, he was in the game. Anybody in the game should be able to catch a ball in the rain.
Well, yeah, that's true, Mom. You're absolutely right. That makes a lot of sense to me.
Why put the person in the game? You need to play your best players in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Oh, jeepers creepers.
Absolutely right.
I mean, this society is sort of dumb anyway, so it's gonna make us hitting the football teams.
Could be. It could be. So that's our recap, folks. And tomorrow, so we have the Bucs and the Lions. Who do you think, Mom? The Bucs visiting the Lions. That place should be.
I think Detroit's going to win tomorrow.
Think they're going to blow them out of the stadium?
I don't know about blowing them out of the stadium because basically all you need in a football game is for a team to win. I don't care whether you blow my team out of the system. Let him win. Yeah. But I think Detroit's going to win. They may not, but I put my faith in Detroit.
Folks, I'm going to roll the dice, and the reason why I'm rolling the dice has to do with this little thing called. I know people say statistics lie and all this sort of thing, but I happen to think the statistics really do matter. And the thing about it is that the Lions defense ranking is 19th, but the Buccaneers are 23rd. So they're surprisingly evenly matched. Now, the question is, where are they in terms of offense? And when you look at the Lions offense rankings, and Baker Mayfield has put up some really impressive stats, okay? Really has. And so what? As a result, guess who has the best offense in the postseason? Well, Cowboys, but they're out of it. Right? So who does that leave next? The Buccaneers. The Buccaneers. Now, during the regular season, who was number one? Detroit, Miami, San Francisco, and then Detroit. So, and then the Buccaneers were way down there, 17, way down there, okay? Like middle of the pack, right there. But they really improved. So it's going to be a fascinating game. You can't go by regular season and say, well, the Bucs are middle of the pack, but in the postseason, the Buccaneers' offense was on fire. Baker Mayfield had the distinction of being the first quarterback in Buccaneers history to throw for over 300 yards in the playoffs. So
Detroit did some good drafts this year, so I'm going with Detroit.
Mom's going with Detroit. I'm going with Tampa Bay. We're going to see what happens there. I think I'm just going just for grins. I just have a feeling. It's just a feeling. I would like to be wrong, because it would be fun for Detroit. It would be fun for either team. But I'd love to see Todd Bowles, the coach of the Buccaneers, get to the NFC Championship game for the first time in his life as a head coach. That would be really, really cool. Facing the Niners. I think that really did. It just seems like everyone's sort of adoring, well, it's going to be this and this. Maybe not. He is an excellent defensive coach. And they put together a surprisingly good team this year, talking about what Bowles has done with the Buccaneers. And he should be in contention for Coach of the Year, except that Dan Campbell probably should get that before anybody else. He's really excited everybody with what he's done with the Lions. Can't take that away from him at all. And he's energized the city at a time. Well, it's needed it for quite some time. It needs it now, like Oakland needs it. But Oakland doesn't have a football team. Doesn't.
Well, we're talking about the Las Vegas Raiders next year.
Raiders. Hey, folks, Tuesday morning, 8 o'clock, 8:30, well, really 8 o'clock, join us because the 96th Oscar nominations will be on. We'll have a live stream to talk about them as they roll in, as I do annually. If you know me, you know I love the Oscars. I can't imagine life without the Oscars. Just can't. All right. Hey, thanks, Mom.
You're welcome. Very welcome. I love football.
I love football too. Love my mom too. Thank you. So fantastic. And we'll see you tomorrow. More live streams, more talking about everything else. Subscribe to Zenny62 on YouTube. And hey, bookmark ZennyReport.com because ZennyReport.com just so happens it has the Oscar nominations. All right. Out. Excuse me. What am I saying? It will have the Oscar nominations Wednesday, but it has the information regarding watching the Oscars. I'll have the live stream up embedded within the page. It'll be at the top of ZennyReport.com in a second from now. All set, folks. All right. So we'll see you later. Bye-bye.